Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about the top 10 fastest rare mounts that you can farm from both dungeons and raids across every expansions of WoW. So here by fastest, I don't mean the drop chance and for instance having a boss that will automatically drop a mount when you kill it, such as for instance in Wrath of the Lich King, the Obsidian Sanctuary, but the different raids and dungeons that you can do super fast and then like that kill the different bosses that you need in order to have a chance at getting some of these different rare mounts. So let's start with our number 10. And at number 10, we're gonna have the Reins of the Grand Black War Mammoth that you will be able to get from any of the bosses inside of the Vault of Arcaven. So this is something that you can do really easily. As you can see, you can just enter the raid and then you just want to go kill each of these different bosses, and each time you will have a chance at getting the mount. Here, as you can see, I had to do it on my Alliance Death Knight, and so Death Knight is not the fastest class to do this type of farms. It took me 3 minutes and 35 seconds on the Death Knight to kill the 4 different bosses, but I'm sure if I did it, for instance, on a Druid, it would have probably taken me only 1 minute and a half. Now, while this is very fast and something you can do very easily, the only tricky part with this raid is that you will only be able to access it if your faction has the control of Wintergrasp. And so if, for instance, at that moment, as you can see, I was on my Druid, there is the opposite faction that has the control, then you won't be able to enter the raid. And so for this simple reason, and because sadly it's very tricky sometimes to be able to access the raid on some of your characters, I will put it at number 10, even though it can take you maybe 1 minute and a half to do it on most of your characters. After that, at number 9, we're gonna have the Kor'kron Juggernaut. This is a really cool mount that you will be able to get from Garrosh Hellscream in Mythic difficulty in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid from Mist of Pandaria. And basically, in order to do this farm really fast, you want to have already killed at least once Garrosh Hellscream on your character, and then when you enter, you will see that at the entrance, you will be able to click on this parchment, and this parchment will then teleport you in the room where Garrosh is located. So then, the only annoying part is that you will have to go through all the different dialogue between Garrosh and Thrall. You cannot skip this part. And also, you will have to go through all the different phases of Garrosh Hellscream. But as you can see, in total, it took me 4 minutes and 7 seconds to complete. And then like that, you will be able to have a chance at getting this really cool mount, the Kor'kron Juggernaut. Then after that, at number 8, we're gonna have the Underrot Crawg Harness. This is this really cool mount that you can get from the last boss of the Underrot dungeon in Battle for Azeroth. So this dungeon is very easy to do. Basically, you just wanna go enter the dungeon. You will most likely have to kill the first few packs of mobs that are before the first boss, simply because even if you're using stealth, they will detect you and they will attack you, and you really want to make sure to kill all of them so you don't have them running after you the entire dungeon. When this is done, you want to go past the first boss, you want to go past all the different pack of mobs if you can, and then also past the second boss, and then you want to make your way to the room where there is the third boss. Again, before the third boss spawn, you just want to skip that and go straight to the last part of the dungeon. When you arrive here, you will simply have to kill the 3 mobs that are in between you and this main gate, and when it's done, there is this big friendly guy that will arrive, and then he will open the gate, and like that you will be able to arrive in the last room where you will simply have to kill the last boss. And as you can see, it took me 2 minutes and 34 seconds to complete. So again, this is something that is very easy to do. It might require you maybe just a few more minutes if you're doing it on a class that again cannot stealth. But normally this is something you can do super easily. After that, at number 7, we will have 2 mounts from Firelands in Cataclysm. So the first one is the Flametalon of Alysrazor. And then you also have this flying mount right here, the Smoldering F or Millagazor. And so both of these mounts are really easy to farm. All you have to do is enter the raid, and then you want to make your way directly to where Alysrazor is located. Here you will be able to kill the different mobs and then engage the fight with Alysrazor. Don't kill Alysrazor as soon as it spawns because you want to wait for him to make the different feathers spawn on the ground. Then you want to pick up 3 feathers and you want to kill directly after that Alysrazor. Make sure to loot Alysrazor and then you want to fly towards the end part of the raid. So when you arrive here, the last almost boss won't be spawned, but you can directly go inside and you will be able to access the room where Ragnaros is located and you will be able to kill Ragnaros. So then it will just take you a few more moments to kill Ragnaros, and like that you will be done. So in total, this is something that took me 4 minutes and 1 second, and so as these are 2 mounts, I will divide the time by 2, and so it's basically 2 minutes in order to get each of these mounts. Keep in mind you need to do it in heroic difficulty in order to have a chance at also getting the mount from Ragnaros. And like that, again, it's a good chance to have 2 cool mounts. Then at number 6, we're gonna have Millagazor, and Millagazor will have a chance of dropping these 2 mounts right here, the Reins of the Azure Drake and also the Reins of the Blue Drake. So Millagazor will be located in the Eye of Eternity, and this is a really easy fight. You just want to enter, click on the orb, and then you want to damage Millagazor. Then when all these little mobs will spawn in the sky, make sure to not kill all of them at once because otherwise the fight will be bugged and you won't be able to go to the last stage of the fight. So just kill them one at a time. And normally when this is done, you will have to jump on a mount and then you just want to attack once Millagazor, and like that he will die. And then you can open this little chest that will spawn, and normally inside you will have a chance at getting these 2 mounts. And as you can see, this is something that only took me 1 minute and 37 seconds to do. After that, at number 5, we're gonna have the 2 mounts from Zulian, the version from Cataclysm. So the first one is the armored Razzashi Raptor, and then also the swift Zulian Panther. So for this one, it's very straightforward. You just want to enter the dungeon and then you want to make your way to where Bloodlord Mandokir is located. Just want to kill this first boss. And then you want to go and basically you will have to make a little bit of a way to the second boss that we want to kill. So as you can see, if you have, for instance, the buff that allows you to walk on water, it's best to just use this path right here. And then you want to enter this last part of the dungeon. And inside you will be able to find the High Priestess Kilnara, and you just want to kill the High Priestess, and you will have a chance at getting the Swift Zulian Panther as well. So in total, it took me 2 minutes and 42 seconds to do. So if you divide by 2, because again, you will be able to get 2 mounts when doing this dungeon, it's basically 1 minute and 21 seconds per mount. And so definitely something that you can do super easily. Then at number 4, we're gonna have Sharkbait. So Sharkbait is this really cool pirate mount that, as you can see, you will be able to get from the last boss of Freehold. This is a dungeon from Battle for Azure, and you will have to do it in Mythic difficulty. So this is something really easy to do. You just want to go and you want to skip every mobs. If you are playing on a class that cannot use stealth, then maybe you will have to kill the pack just before the breach. And then you really just want to make your way until the last point of the dungeon. And here you just want to kill the last boss, Arlan Sweet. And like that, you will have a very small chance at getting this mount from this boss. So again, if you're doing it with a class that can stealth, you will most likely be able to do it as I did in 1 minute and 15 seconds, or maybe just a little bit more. But even if you're doing it on a class that cannot use stealth, it's probably going to be still less than 2 minutes on average. After that, at number 3, we're gonna have the Reins of the Drake of the South Wind. So this is a mount that will drop from Alakir inside of the raid, the Throne of the Four Winds from Cataclysm. So this raid is really simple. You just want to enter and then kill the first boss. In order to kill the first boss, you will have to basically kill each of the mini boss that are on each platforms. And once this is done, you want to come back to where the entrance is and you want to click on this big thingy in the sky. And then it will teleport you to where Alakir is. And here you can just one-shot Alakir. And like that, you will be able to loot this little chest floating in the sky. And so as you can see, it took me 1 minute and 5 seconds to do. So definitely something super fast that you can do with any of your characters. Then at number 2, we're gonna have the Reins of the Onyxian Drake that you can get from Onyxia in the Onyxia's lair, the version from Wrath of the Lich King. So basically, this one is very straightforward. Again, you just want to enter, then directly turn on your right, and then you want to make your way to where Onyxia is. And here you won't be able to one-shot Onyxia because she has 2 faces, so you will have to wait a little bit. But again, this is something that is really easy, and as you can see, in normally just a little bit more than 1 minute, you should be able to then defeat Onyxia and loot and maybe have a chance at getting the Reins of the Onyxian Drake. Just before we go to number 1, a few honorable mentions. So the first one is going to be the Entonan Charon and also the Shackled or Urzul that you can get from Entorus the Burning Throne. This is a raid from Legion. So here, this is something you can do really easily. You can just enter the raid, kill the first boss, kill the second boss if you don't have the dog mount yet, and then finally use the portal to then go and kill Agramar and then Argus. So while this is something that you can do in probably less than 5 minutes, this is something that you will only be able to do that fast if you already unlocked all the different portals, and this is sadly something that you will have to do on each of your characters, and it is not something really easy to do. So for that reason, I will not mention it on the list, but if you have unlocked all the different portals and you can go directly to the Burning Throne, then you will be able to farm these 2 mounts very fast. We also have this mount right here, the Spawn of Oridon from the Throne of Thunder in Mist of Pandaria. So this one will be very easy to get. You will just need to kill the first boss and then go directly to where Oridon is located. This is something normally you can do in probably 2 minutes or maybe just a little bit more. So while this is a really easy mount to farm, usually I know that people also try to go and kill Jikun in order to also get the Clutch of Jikun. And sadly, this part takes a little bit longer, so for that reason, again, I didn't include it in the list, but Oridon in itself is really easy to kill. And I also want to mention the Felsteel Annihilator that you can get from Archimon in the Hellfire Citadel raid from Warhorse of Janeer. So here, this is very similar to Entorus. Basically, if you have unlocked the different portals, you will be able, as soon as you enter the raid, to go and kill Underrot and then access Archimon. So this is again something that will only take you a few minutes, but first you will need to unlock these different portals, and this is something that can take quite a lot of time, especially as you need to do it on each of your characters. Finally, at number 1, we will have the Fiery Warhorse's Reins that you will be able to get from Atumen the Huntsman in Karazhan, the version from the Burning Crusade. So this one is the most easy mount to farm. Basically, you just want to enter, and directly on your left, you want to go to the stables, and here you will be able to kill Atumen. So this is something that, as you can see, took me only 16 seconds, and this is really the easiest raid mount that you can farm, even though the drop chance is not guaranteed, so you will still have to do it a couple of times. So these are, in my opinion, the 10 fastest raids and dungeons you can farm in order to get some of these different rare mounts. Again, keep in mind, some of them are very, very low drop chance, so you will have to do these different farms like 100 times before getting the mount. But still, this is something that once you understand how to do it fast, you can really do it on all your different characters as fast as possible. Also, of course, it's always better to do it on classes that can go super fast inside of dungeons and raids. For instance, druids are probably the best one. And also, if you have a speed set, you will be able to do it even faster. But again, normally, even without these 2 things, you should be able to do all these different farms really easily. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you will be able to get some of these different mounts if you are farming some of them. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a great day. Bye!